Kayfabe was a way to show respect to the audience and respect your own business. It was a way to protect it.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, we are the generation that you make your rules and we will break
them. Ladies and gentlemen, heels and faces, casual wrestling fans, and smart marks. Welcome to the Kayfabe livecast.
The podcast.
The livecast.
The livecast.
Yeah, you know, whatever.
The livecast, that's a podcast?
Yeah.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Yeah. Listen, so Kayfabe Ave.
Something like that.
Yeah, we're on Kayfabe Ave. That's
well,
all
this
that matters.
is how you explain it. If you hook that left off New Euro Boulevard, not that right, you want to hook that left, you're going to end up on Kayfabe Avenue.
Yeah.
On the corner of Gimmick Street.
Exactly, but if you pass the SmackDown Hotel, you've gone way too far.
Oh, yeah. And that's where we're at.
That's where we're at. So, I don't even think he's a special guest anymore because it's the second week on there. The name of the show is in his name. So I don't really think he's a special guest anymore.
No, we can't say special guest
so
anymore.
we're just going to just say we have a guest here, Kayfabe Focus.
Kayfabe Focus is here. How you guys doing today?
So we have to start off on
kind of a somber note. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So
before we jump to last week's Raw, this week in wrestling.
So we're recapping Monday, October 15th, all the way to today, which is Monday, October 22nd. We're actually in the process of watching Raw right now while we record this. And
Raw opened with the big dog coming out.
Now this is completely unexpected. This is coming off of this is the Monday, the 22nd of October episode. We're gonna go back to the 15th episode and recap all the way through. So this is coming off of a weekend that Roman missed live events.
I didn't know that. He missed live events?
Yeah, he missed the live events over the weekend. And they gave no explanation towards it. They pretty much was...
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because,
they usually
Roman he's everywhere, wants to be the fighting champion.
He's a workhorse.
He's in the live events.
Legit. And, usually they're kind of transparent when it comes to injuries and stuff like that. So, to have the lingering question going into this Raw... I don't think people even had it in the forefront of their minds, like something big was about to happen.
Not.
So this blindsided anything. Like
people were booing him at first.
Of course.
When he
typical
came out,
Roman.
It was typical Roman hate.
Yeah.
Like boo.
Typical
Roman sucks,
Reigns
and then you hear
stuff.
everybody else. Roman. Yada yada.
He's out in casual attire. He doesn't have his vest on, which is a rare thing for Roman too. You never see him really in casual clothes. He's always
with jeans
full on character.
Well.
Yeah. So. He gets in the ring and he starts delivering a speech nobody expected. He's relinquishing the Universal Championship.
He broke kayfabe.
He referred to himself as Joe.
Yep.
Joe Noah, and he basically explains to the universe that he's been suffering from leukemia for the past 11 years, and before he actually started in WWE, he fought it. And it subsided enough that he could work for WWE. It ended his football career, and
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it ended his football career, and WWE gave him the shot. He earned his way through the developmental NXT.
FCW. He's an FCW.
Yeah.
For you smart marks out there.
This is when Roman Reigns was wearing wrestling trunks. We're not talking about any pants.
His first gimmick, he was like
gear,
cocky.
Nothing. Yeah.
His first gimmick, he was like cocky, like the Rolex.
He was like I think they tried like the tribal gimmick with him first.
They did. And then he was like the cocky, kind of like playboy kind of thing.
Kind of like a Samoan Ric Flair.
He was. He's very much like a Samoan Ric Flair. Not as extreme, but
Probably like electrifying in some way.
Roman relinquishes the title, so now the Universal title is once again vacant. Second time out of 4 reigns, the championship is without a champion.
I mean, technically.
Hashtag
I mean,
vacant for
not
Hall of
technically,
Fame.
but I mean, the way Brock held it, you thought it was vacant for a while. So it's like we had like 2.5 like vacant spots.
See now, before this, without even knowing his situation, no one really knew his situation. I don't think any fan out there would even guess that he was going through this situation, or that he ever suffered anything the way he was in the ring.
No cliche.
Big guy.
People say what they want. Oh, the big dog. We always give Roman shit, but truth be told, Roman Reigns is a hell of a worker. When he says he's a workhorse, he really is a workhorse. He's there in, out. He's really good in a ring.
See now,
it's just the way
the reason I boo Roman is like the name of the show, Kayfabe. Yeah. I'm a fan that I know the difference. I know how to hate a person on story and respect his craft. Like a John Cena. Yeah. I respect everything that John has done for the company, but do I like his character? No, I really don't. So
yeah, it's just the way he's been booked.
Honestly, I don't like his character neither. I feel like he's just basically like John Cena if he was Jason Momoa. That's how I feel. How about you guys? What do you think?
Oh, you talking about Roman? As far as Roman is legit, it's not so much his actual character. It's just the fact that he's always pushed to the forefront of storylines that we really didn't want him in that place. And ever since the Daniel Bryan thing at the Royal Rumble, the year that Roman won it initially, come on, like nobody wanted Roman to win that. It was Daniel Bryan, so it's been a stigma ever since then.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I really wanted to talk about Roman Reigns a lot.
I mean,
I feel like this situation he deserves. As much as I love
that's why we're
opening.
That's why we're opening with the Roman Reigns segment.
I kind of
and
want to do like a whole thing.
I mean, we should.
I think you should. I think we should.
Just
later.
think about it.
Not right now. I just kind of occurred to me.
There's so many repercussions. There's so many repercussions coming off of him relinquishing the title and going off to fight the battle he's about to have. Who's up next? What does this leave the Shield? Where does this leave the Shield?
Where does it leave WWE storyline?
Where does it leave the storyline? Crown Jewel.
WWE without Roman Reigns. We haven't even thought about that. For the last 4 years, it's basically been centered around Roman Reigns. After WrestleMania 30, everything's been centered around Roman Reigns.
That's true.
So,
and honestly, I mean, it hasn't fully settled in, but I'm starting to feel like, maybe they gave him too much of a hard time, not to go back and revert how I felt before just because of the situation, because how I felt is how I felt, and I'll still hold true to that. But I think people should now start to focus and shine that respect that they have. If you're a real wrestling fan and you go to these shows, watch these shows on a weekly basis, you know how to respect the wrestlers past their personas, and this is a moment that you have to. Respect the man.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget the character, whether you like him winning or losing or not.
I think everybody really respects Roman. Even before this, I think everybody respected Roman and thought he was good in the ring. I think it's with the marks with us. We just didn't like the way he was booked. Yeah. I think that's all it comes down to. I don't think his character
really is because
think about before the Royal Rumble when The Rock came out and helped him. We all thought Roman Reigns was cool.
I mean, let's think. What are the arguments against Roman Reigns?
They push him too hard. They're pushing him
because he's a good worker.
Yeah,
he has the 5 moves of doom, but who else doesn't have the fucking 5 moves of doom nowadays?
Everybody has 5 moves of doom.
You understand? It's how you work the match, and let's be real. The best matches Brock Lesnar gave us have been featuring the Roman. Ooh. That's really true. That was a one-off. That was one-off.
I feel like except for wrestling. I like that match.
That was a one-off. That was a one-off thing, though. All storylines have been, the big guys, and he's run through Cena's, he's run through Undertaker, he's run through even Strowman and Roman, and Roman has given him his best matches in this horrible title reign that Brock Lesnar had for like 400 plus days. Roman gave him the best matches out of that.
He did have some good matches. He had that 4-way match at SummerSlam. Was it SummerSlam with Joe, Roman, Braun, and Brock? Ooh, that was a good old barn burner. But no, you're right. You're right. That was his main story. That was Brock's main story. That was Roman's main story for a while. But I think, when Roman comes back,
It's gonna be the greatest story ever told in wrestling history.
I
Period.
don't know if it's gonna be the greatest.
What else can be there?
presented-
They hold right now. WWE holds the. I don't mean as far as like cool factor and stuff, but the greatest comeback story in the history of
I feel like
professional
Daniel
wrestling.
Bryan.
Roman Reigns.
I feel like Daniel Bryan.
Roman Reigns beating leukemia over a neck injury.
Daniel Bryan went through
Leukemia
years.
has a lot. That's life and death.
No, I know. Yeah.
What if I-
sure.
You know,
What-
Daniel Bryan with a neck injury, he can still move around. He can still focus. He's literally in the battle for his life right now.
Yep.
So if he comes back and he comes back healthy, he comes back enough to perform, do the WWE schedule, or even a reduced schedule, he's the man. Is gonna be the biggest pop ever, and honestly, it would be greater. Not to say that Daniel Bryan story is doesn't hold any weight, because it does. That's one of the greatest comeback stories up to now. But besides, what, I'd give even Shawn Michaels, not the current, when he first came back from that back injury, had that rivalry with Triple H. That was one of the greatest comeback stories. Daniel Bryan, one of the greatest comeback stories. It'd be like if Edge came back from his neck injury now,
Yeah.
But Roman, he comes back from this leukemia thing, man. Hats off to the guy. I think at that point he's instantly over, and I don't even think it would be a sympathy thing. It'd be a, goddamn, I gotta respect this guy.
Happy he's back.
I gotta respect this guy.
Because as much as we complain about Roman, we have to now consider that we are going into a future with WWE without Roman Reigns. We have not been in this scenario for like the last 5 years.
To most people,
he's been in the main event for the last 4 years.
Yeah, to most people, he was the guy. That he was Vince's guy. So
He was
what
the
happens?
big dog.
So what happens? And then for the second or third time in a row,
Yep.
what happens to the Shield?
The Shield is cursed.
I have another
Seems
theory
like it.
about a curse. We'll get to that.
The Universal Championship may be kind of cursed in some ways.
That's where I was leading to. I feel like the
What's happened?
the Universal title is definitely cursed.
What's happened?
The first title reign ends in one night. Finn Balor has to relinquish due to a shoulder injury. The second reign, Kevin Owens had a tremendous reign.
Yep.
It ended in the sour note. He didn't get his rematch for about a year plus.
And as much as
later.
I love Kevin Owens' reign, they never really treated him like.
He was living through Jericho, but that was one of the greatest.
Which
It
spawned.
was great TV, the Festival
made
of
the
Friendship. Check that out. The list of Jericho came from that. So many things, but it ended on a sour note.
You know what?
You just made the list.
You got to click of a pen over. Shout out to the GOAT.
Yeah, so the second reign ended with him dropping to Goldberg just for a whole nother storyline that had nothing to do with Kevin Owens. He ends up not getting a rematch for a year plus. Finn Balor comes back for injury, doesn't get a title match for a year plus. Third reign was the worst reign in WWE history.
Kevin Owens never got his rematch.
He still didn't. No, he did.
He did?
He did. He fought Finn for a number one contendership. Finn won, and I think went up.
Kevin Owens deserves a number one. Not even number one. He deserved a title shot.
Yeah.
He deserves his rematch.
I agree. But I know they did some angle where Finn ended up getting the match against Roman the next night
On the technicality,
after he won it.
I say this all the time. Finn Balor did not win the Universal title. The Demon won. And the only reason I emphasize that because they emphasize it so much. There is a clear difference. Everybody knows there's a difference between the Demon King and Finn Balor. Finn Balor loses all the time. Demon King in WWE is undefeated.
I mean, they're different characters on WWE, so the
the
video game that is.
The Demon King never got his title. Never got his rematch. So.
Nope.
So moving on from Roman Reigns, before we move on from Roman Reigns, Kayfabe Avenue wants to definitely send our condolences and our prayers are with Roman Reigns. Hopefully, You know, he wins this battle against leukemia. He comes back stronger than ever, and you know, hopefully this run will be the best run he's ever had when he comes back.
He is. He's gonna beat it. It's gonna be his biggest pop ever. It's gonna be awesome. I hope they don't tease it. I hope he just comes back one day.
Yeah, he has the potential to skyrocket beyond anything he's ever been. I think he'll definitely be in the echelon of like The Rock, Stone Cold. He comes back from that. He has the potential to do that.
Yeah.
You won't have to. It would never feel forced. That Roman, you know, he earned his way back. He's gonna crawl his way back at this point. You know.
Yeah. I predict Roman coming back. We'll see Roman Raw after Mania.
After Mania, you
We'll
think?
see Roman Raw after Mania.
I don't know, man. I think it could be.
Mania's only a few months away.
We'll see Raw after Mania, man. It's the big dog.
I don't
know about
It's kind of close, but well, we'll see. I mean, hopefully it is sooner than later. Hopefully, you know, we wouldn't want any speedy recovery. We wouldn't want anybody going through that. But so the storyline for Crown Jewels completely has to change now because it was Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar versus Braun for the title, and now the Shield storyline going on Raw is definitely going to be changed up.
I don't even think it should be returned with Dean, and I don't even think it should be returned.
Yeah, I think this is going to stop Dean's. I think it's going to stop Dean's heel turn.
There's no reason why would you just turn on?
You're going to turn on Seth right after you lose Roman. It being bad taste at this point.
Yeah.
So I doubt WWE's going to pull the trigger. And you know, the funny thing is the Shield, like you said, is cursed as well because they tried this the last run. Tag team titles. They were going to go towards Dean and Seth having a feud over the IC title.
Dude, that honestly, Roman getting sick, that affected a lot of different things. I think that would have ruined a lot of careers, dude. Do you know what match was going to happen tonight? Okay, it was going to be Sister Abigail versus the Pumpkin King. Okay, that should save a lot of.
Yeah.
Somebody would have got fired.
Bray Wyatt is already there. You know what I'm saying? Then the Pumpkin King. Oh gosh.
Yeah. So next up is
and that was his last year, right? Matter of fact.
What was last year?
That's when Finn beat AJ Styles and he was supposed to go on to face Brock at Royal Rumble, but then he quote unquote wasn't over enough. But
who wasn't over enough?
That's when the rumor saying that they said that Vince said that Finn Balor wasn't over enough. That's when he came out with all like
I think as far as Finn is more of a healthy thing.
That's bull. I'm gonna say bull because think about it: Stone Cold, Triple H, Rock, Shawn Michaels, Seth Rollins.
I mean, since he's been back, like he
tore his entire leg in the middle of his title match. In the middle of his
but
came back.
You gotta think about it. He left and he was coming back straight into a storyline. When Finn came back, the title picture was already wrapped up.
He came back in the win. Triple H came back. He tore his quad in the middle of the match with Jericho. Came back immediately into a program. One Royal Rumble Mania. That's why I call BS with the injury stuff. Everybody gets Stone Cold got it.
I think it's a mixture. I think it's a mixture of injury and just the lack of space on the card for him to be integrated correctly.
I don't really think Vince.
Let's be honest. They've been building Roman. They did the slow build for Braun. They were still having Brock as the champion at that time. You know, it's hard for Finn, but at this point, you know, he got lost in the shuffle, unfortunately. Now with Roman stepping to the side, this opens a lot of opportunities. Now we can possibly see Braun. Well, I think we're gonna see Braun Strowman take it at Crown Jewel. I really don't see them giving the title back to Brock. It left a bad taste in the fans. Vince, as much as we try to say Vince doesn't listen, he does listen because Vince wouldn't allow a Kurt Angle, the supposed GM, on screen of Raw to come out and call out the champion for the same thing the fans are calling him out on. So WWE is aware. So I don't think the title will go back to Brock. I think it's gonna go to Braun finally. Yeah. Maybe he'll go into a segment with Drew, which I'll explain that when we cover Raw. But next up, moving on, let's.
Do we have any more comments? Should we go back to last week? Should we hop in the flux and pass it and go back to last week now?
Yeah, we're gonna move on from Roman and go back to Bound for Glory.
Ooh,
Bound for Glory.
Yep.
Which I thought was actually a really good pay per view.
Was it?
I thought it was a good pay per view. I thought all matches.
How many stars
were
did you
solid.
give it?
How many stars would you give it?
How many stars would I give it? Honestly,
Think about this hard.
I'm talking about the entire pay per view,
The
top to bottom,
Top to bottom.
top to bottom, all the storylines given to it. Honestly,
You give it a 4-star?
yep, dead serious. I really would.
Give me a hell yeah.
Here it is.
I said, give me a hell yeah.
So he gives Impact's Bound for Glory a 4. So explain that.
I feel like all the matches were technically solid. The storylines progressed. Obviously, everybody's biggest problem with it, and I don't blame them for it. And I would have never given them 5-star. But that ending was just shit, man. That ending was so shit. So let's just
jump right into it. I mean, that's the big story coming out of Bound for
Johnny
Glory.
Impact hit Austin Aries with his own finisher, the Brainbuster.
Yep.
Then Starship Pain, 1, 2, 3. As soon as 1, 2, 3
He pops up.
he pops up, gives an FU to Don Callis, an FU to the crowd, and walks off.
I think, honestly, even if it is a storyline or they're trying
Stupid storyline.
it is stupid because it disrespects what professional wrestling is.
This sounds like a Vince Russo storyline, if you ask me.
Put
So
a contract on a pole match.
I'm not sure.
The rumors out there saying that Austin Aries is doing this loose cannon character, doesn't follow authority, he does what he wants, whatever the case may be. That's in bad taste the way they started it. When you no-sell the finish to a championship match, I don't give a shit if it's for character purposes. You kill the art of professional wrestling when you do things like that. When you no-sell these moves, we have, like you say all the time, Rich, you have to suspend your disbelief sometimes to enjoy wrestling, and you don't want to be...
You don't feel stupid.
You don't feel stupid for suspending your disbelief. Now, keep up kayfabe. You understand? Lay your ass down in that fucking mat. At least let the champion raise his arm with that
He could
title.
have sold it another way. He could have easily, because Don Callis he is so good on a goddamn microphone and color commentary. He was like, I was in Calgary when the Calgary screw job happened. He's like, I was there. He was like, Austin Aries and Johnny Impact have Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. He was alluding to that, so which makes sense at the end. They could have easily just had him side out the ring, just like throw the middle finger, start destroying. They didn't really.
All he needed was for Johnny to get his ass up first. How do you get up faster than the person who beat you?
That don't even make
With
sense.
2 finishes back to back, makes no sense. Horrible finish. But coming out of that, Austin Aries is done with Impact.
Yes.
So I don't know how much of a storyline it could be. I don't think Impact at this point is gonna take the risk in finishes like that when they're trying to build their fan base back after the whole fiasco with the Hardys and
they don't need all
them losing money and
They don't need
new
that right
ownership. They don't need that kind of image. They're kind of in the rebuilding stages on like an NWA level, I'd say, honestly, because they're obviously more in the spotlight because they have the television time and coming off of TNA and all that history.
TNA is gonna be, Impact's gonna be fine, especially with Cruise and Jericho coming up.
And it doesn't matter how talented you are, if you don't behave well and be liked by others, you're not gonna be
And
booked.
from what they say, Austin Aries has a long history of having a bad attitude and
He does.
Yep. Ring of Honor,
not
WWE,
doing good business.
Now it's Impact. What's the next promotion he's gonna go to?
I don't know, but
and fuck up.
whoever
relations with
booked
New
if
Japan?
that was a storyline, whoever booked that, I'm sorry. You should have went back to the drawing board. You're trying to rebuild your audience. You're trying to gain that interest level back. You're trying to gain your core audience back and expand upon that audience. Do not give us shitty finishes like that. I kind of want to move on after that. Like that's kind of how the bad taste is. Congratulations to John Morrison, Johnny Impact, Johnny Nitro, the man of a million names,
Sunday Night Delight,
John Morrison,
Night
Johnny
Delight.
Impact. So on to Raw, October 15th Raw, and it was kind of eventful. I'd give it that. I think I'd probably rank the show, if I was to give the star rating now, I'd probably give it a solid 3.
3?
Yeah. I'll give it all hell yeah. We got to see Seth and Dolph gain their spots for the Crown Jewels tournament. The World
Cup.
World Cup,
Quote unquote.
or the same continent cup. Like what we should rename
American
this.
Cup.
What would you name it? The American Cup.
The
What
American
about
Cup.
you? What would you name it?
I would have just named the Crown Jewel Tournament.
Or
The Crown Jewel tournament.
Crown Jewel
the
Tournament.
Saudi Arabia
Or
Cup.
if they were fucking smart, they would have said King of the Ring at Saudi Arabia.
Ooh. There's an
Why not
idea.
bring back King of the Ring?
Or Sheik.
No, it's
They don't like the King of the Ring. They just don't.
why? That was one of the greatest pay per
It really
views.
was.
I used to look forward to King of the Ring and the old format of Survivor Series and these gimmick pay per view. That's a staple.
All these gimmicks need to come back.
We would not have Austin 316. We would have our rating system if it was not for the King of the Ring.
We would have King Booker
So
if it wasn't for the King of the Ring.
Seth goes over on Drew, kind of with the help of Dean, and Dolph goes over on Dean with a miscommunication from Seth and Dean. They're still pushing this will he, won't he turn heel and split on the Shield thing.
Which probably won't.
I don't think it's gonna pan out now
No, that's
because
not
of this
gonna happen.
Roman
It's
thing. So
bad taste, so it shouldn't even happen now.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
They can go in a different story.
if anything, they need to just. I feel like they need to continue the storyline for storyline's sake. As far as, hey, I'm over it.
They need to
With Roman gone,
you know what?
we're the only brothers left. Maybe just do the tag team scene, or if not, just respectfully, hey, I want the IC title. I want a shot at least, and they can respect each other as brothers and keep it pushing.
Win the tag team titles tonight.
What they should do
If
is start. They should
let's
start
not talk
recruiting
about
members.
this. We'll talk about that next week.
You heard? They should start recruiting members.
Or no, I don't. Shield
We
is
already have
Roman,
enough
Seth,
faction
and Dean. If they're gonna make a new faction, make it completely new from the ground up. I don't want to keep seeing these wannabe Shield members like they did when Roman was out the last time.
There's a couple wrestlers that would probably fit perfectly with the Shield though.
The only person on Raw that needs a stable right now is Finn Balor.
The
real
rock and roller. He's not the real rock and roller anymore, unfortunately, though. I love my man. I'm a Finn Mark, but he's not the real rock and roller.
And you're looking at the real rock and roller, Prince Devitt.
Finn Balor.
And we're all
King.
doing our Bullet Club finger gestures for podcast listeners.
So these matches lead to the Dogs of War versus the Shield later on in the night, but the second big thing to come out of that Monday Night Raw was Lashley versus Finn Balor. Actually, speaking on Finn,
I was
so Finn had a quick matchup with Jinder Mahal, and Lashley's match is up next, but he interrupts Finn Balor's celebration.
My man.
And Finn is like, really? What's going on? Leo Rush hyping him up.
My
Looking
man.
like money.
Smelling
like money.
Because he is money.
And we all know, we found out that Vince McMahon is the one in Leo Rush's ear.
Yep, definitely is. If you
So-
see that
Which is why he's amazingly annoying.
It's not nice.
He
But
is. He's
also
amazingly annoying.
Funny because it's true.
He's a. You know what? He does these live streams on IG, where he acts the fan, like he has random fans pop up on his live. He is such an asshole.
Why you say
And
that?
because he's literally an asshole to the fans. Like, the moment you say anything he doesn't like, he just cuts you off. Get out of here. You know, like, you know how Leo talks. But not an asshole, like, you know, he's really a genuine asshole as a person. But, you know, his character's an asshole, and it works for him. So basically, he tries to upstage Finn. He starts doing his pose off, and I'm starting to really like this Bobby Lashley. Like, this is the
Yeah.
Lashley that I've been waiting for.
This is the Lashley that's gonna dominate
I-
and take over Raw.
You know, he could be next too.
It could be.
But
Should
He
be
I
next.
don't want to see him so soon up there. There's a couple guys that I really want to see in that picture first.
He needs that WWE Universal title like yesterday.
But it looks like they're heading into a rivalry themselves, Lashley and Finn together. We'll see how that pans out.
Program, 'cause both of them were just floundering. So I'm happy to see Balor and Lashley. I like both of them to finally get a program. And both, it was a match I didn't even know I wanted to see. I didn't know I wanted to see Bobby Lashley
Oh,
versus Finn Balor.
So I think outside of the Lashley Finn and the Crown Jewel things, the big key point in Raw was Ronda Rousey. Ronda came out and
cut the fire.
cut the greatest promo she's cut since being in WWE.
I feel like that was a pipe bomb moment. Because honestly,
I
wasn't-
wouldn't put it up in a pipe bomb moment. Pipe bomb.
It wouldn't be a.
That's like a upper echelon. Like, that's an iconic promo.
It was a pipe bomb for
Yeah,
her.
like,
She wrote it though, so that's like.
It was
That's the dope part
her
about that.
pipe bomb. It wasn't like the like CM Punk's pipe bomb, but it was her version of it. And I wasn't sold on her before, but now I'm sold.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know,
She's
she
learning.
can convey
She's gonna
herself
get
as a
better.
champ, and her character's gonna develop more. She's not gonna be some stale.
well, it depends how
I
many
just
years
got
she's willing
signed.
to devote to this career. Because realistically speaking, Ronda doesn't have to do this.
Like, honestly,
This is genuinely
Doesn't.
something she loves, and like I said, she needs to take that happy-go-lucky. I'm just happy to be here. Look, off her face, and honestly, that promo,
Yeah.
it did it for me. It was finally like, yes, this is the Ronda that I felt had like the potential to be great in this, and not just based off of UFC, just, you know, who she is, and she finally delivered.
yeah. She
Scorcher.
definitely did.
It was a scorcher
she-
against Nikki Bella.
She put on her wrestling boots today. I mean, that
The good
that
thing
night.
too, she kind of followed up with the promo back and forth on social media, and still roasting and toasting Nikki Bella, and you know Nikki coming to her defense and, hey, I'm a businesswoman, I have this, that, and the third, and she's just like, Ronda.
Please and stuff, you know.
Ronda's like, you being handed this, you know, like, have you really earned some of those things? Like, you threw in John Cena, and, you know, threw in a lot of stuff, threw in the Divas Era talk, and it was a great promo. So that's pretty much boosting ticket sales as we speak for the Evolution coming up,
Yeah.
which is
Definitely
October
is.
28th. And
In the National Coliseum, I think, in Long Island.
yeah, it's in Long Island. So
Go to that. We should be going to that.
yeah, we should be. It's my birthday. I definitely should be at a wrestling event on my birthday. But so this leads us to the main event, which of course was the Shield versus the Dogs of War, and this was a big one for me because it gave me what I've been saying for a long time. Drew is the next one up. Drew has the potential to be the next world champion, and this was the point where I felt like, yes, they're going in that direction for sure. So Braun for the last couple weeks have been like really targeting Dolph Ziggler and calling him the weak link for losing matches or getting them in situations where the Shield wins over, and it came to a head. He at the end of the match, I don't even remember who won, to be honest, because I'm just so focused on the fact what happened after the match. So I think they lost, and pretty much Braun.
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler got pinned.
by Dirty Deeds.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler got
And-
pinned, and that's when he started attacking Dolph Ziggler.
And Paul came in and said, if you mess up one more time, I told you you're going to get these hands. Then he proceeded to give Dolph Ziggler the hands.
He gave him the hands, the paws, the boots.
He gave him all that. And then
He turns around,
Big Drew came out of nowhere. Claymore kick.
Ooh,
and Drew is a big guy, man.
yeah.
Drew makes Braun look like a regular dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that Claymore kick was, impactful. Obviously,
Braun
Dogs of
never
War
got hit
split.
like that.
Dogs of War split. Dolph Ziggler and Drew are still the tag team champions,
Yeah.
but we'll see how long that lasts.
We'll see. Because, now they have Braun as the enemy. You never know what might happen.
They have a match tonight that's coming up against Dean and Seth. So we might have new tag team champions by the end of the night. Or maybe they'll retain. Who
And
knows?
we'll let you guys know about that next week. What happens from this Raw tonight. But moving on, it was the 1,000th episode of SmackDown next.
Lots of vintage segments.
Lots of,
Yeah.
hey, I'm here. Look at
Lots
this.
of Eddie Guerrero.
That's how I,
appearance.
that's genuinely how I felt about the show. Like,
Alright,
it was, look at us, 1,000 episodes in, but did they really
Should've
get
been
extravagant with it? Did they
should've
really
been
do
3
anything
hours.
really big?
Should have been 3 hours. There was ever a time to do 3 hours.
Yeah, that was definitely the time. I'm surprised The Rock, of all people, just gave a Twitter comment.
That is horrible.
I thought if anybody should be on the 1,000th episode, it'd be The Rock.
That's what I'm
If it wasn't for
saying.
him saying SmackDown, know your role, and all this, there would never be a SmackDown. Lay if the smack is down on all your candy asses, there never would have been a
Hell,
SmackDown.
The Rock made it to the opening segment.
He should have.
SmackDown Hotel.
Yeah. So, that was kind of, kind of off to me that The Rock didn't show up. But, he's a movie star. He has a lot of things. He has his own
Rock
production
busy.
company. He's very
Rock
busy.
busy.
The Rock is amazing.
Rock is busy.
He's always busy. So, never knock The Rock for that. But it was just a surprise he didn't show up. So, Evolution came back on SmackDown. And it was actually...
That was the highlight of the night for me.
Great,
I
great
love
segment.
Evolution. The only
It was actually great seeing them guys together.
It's not
again.
even a critique, but what I would have done was I would have built it around Dave Bautista. Like, I would have had Batista come out, and then Randy Orton would have came out, and then Ric Flair would have came out, and then Triple H would have came out, because we haven't seen Batista in a while.
No.
I don't feel like they built up Batista enough. Like, I understand the Evolution, but like we haven't seen Batista in a long time. And you know what?
No, but that segment
calling
was
WWE.
all about Batista, though.
Nah, it was.
No, it became all about Batista.
Batista, but I feel like it should have been built around like Batista, the animals coming back, and I feel I'm gonna call WWE out when they're a little insecurities. I feel like they're a little salty, a little insecure, because Batista went out was like, all right, well my contract's done, I'm gonna go out and really just do movies, and he did, and now he's Drax. He sold the Thanos snap, and now he's back. On SmackDown,
Yeah.
without
Right.
Evolution. No
I'm
sold
done.
the Thanos snap. No sold the Thanos snap. And it's back on back on SmackDown. Like, here.
So, during the critique, what I wanted to say, there was a critique going in. Evolution was not a SmackDown stable.
No, they weren't. No,
Yeah, they weren't at all.
They weren't at all. I specifically.
They were
remember
a Raw stable. Evolution was never a group on
on SmackDown.
on
That's when
SmackDown.
SmackDown
Right.
was. No. That's when like Brock
I
Lesnar.
can't remember.
That's when I think that's when I think that's when Paul Heyman first started to like kind of produce over on SmackDown. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know that for a fact that Evolution wasn't. I know SmackDown was kind of like I mean it is a B show, but I know SmackDown was just like really like ugh at that time.
So, but with that being said, they all had their own impact on SmackDown, except maybe Flair. But Batista was world champion on SmackDown for a long time. Teamed up with Eddie Guerrero, which was heavily tributed on the show. He was a big part of SmackDown 1000. And, of course, Orton's been a mainstay on SmackDown for years, on and off.
Still on
And
SmackDown.
Triple H, of course, from the Attitude Era. And even he had a little stint on Raw after the draft situation. I mean, on SmackDown, forgive me. After the draft situation started in WWE.
He made
he
So-
Triple H
won
made
the
the title.
titles.
So they all had their little impact on Raw.
Triple H main evented the first SmackDown.
I mean, on SmackDown. I keep saying.
Yeah, Triple H main evented the first SmackDown. Triple H is definitely a stable.
Yeah.
SmackDown.
So
that's when Triple H was in his prime. That was
that
absolute.
was the game.
Prime.
Yeah,
Triple
that was
H
the
right
game.
there,
Triple
man.
H.
Woo. Good times,
No
good
King of
times.
Kings.
Yeah, and I won the King of Kings.
So
I feel like they should set up a match between Batista and Triple H for WrestleMania this year. What you think?
well, that's what they hinted.
Right,
That's
right.
what they hinted at
Batista's,
in that
you
segment.
know,
Also,
So, Triple H, you did
I
everything.
feel like that will be the WWE's WrestleMania's old timer spot.
That's
I think that's exactly where they're
Part-time
going.
old
Because
timers.
Batista said you did everything except for beat Dave Batista.
Referring to Triple H.
Yeah, and he was just like, you can
Yeah,
see Triple H.
it was
Triple H sold
funny
it
because
great. He
the
sold it so
whole
great.
the whole evolution pretty much gave speeches like, it's great to be together, but I became this and I became that. Especially Randy Orton, he was very arrogant, very like, but I outgrew you guys and I surpassed, and I did accomplishments on my own and I'm my own person.
Batista's in the makeup chair.
You know what's kind of weird? That
was funny too.
You know what's kind of weird? Beard was weird. You know what's
Weird,
weird?
weird.
Triple H, who always wears suits, didn't have a suit on.
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm in the X now on Raw. Like I'm okay to wear jeans and t-shirts now.
Okay, first off, I don't even want to get off on this tangent. Wow, Triple H is the most confusing person in wrestling when you really think about all the different characters he plays.
Yeah.
From DX, the regular Triple H, the CEO, to
Because you
the
love
cancer
to
guy,
hate Triple H.
You know what I'm saying? To the game. It's just confusing if you don't know it, but I know it, so it's not.
You love to hate Triple H. You love Triple H in general. You hate to love him.
Triple H is one of my favorite wrestlers.
He elicits all those
You
emotions,
hate
man.
certain aspects of him, but certain other aspects you're happy with him on.
Triple H is gonna be he's gonna go down in history as probably the single most impactful wrestler in history.
He's the measuring stick.
If you think so.
That's what he is. He's
Triple
the
H
measuring
is in
stick.
all categories. He's you can debate him in all categories. You can debate that Triple H is the greatest of all time. I feel like you could.
I mean, the goal would be Chris Jericho, in my eyes.
Yeah.
But
The way that Chris
Triple
Jericho's
H
going needs
is wrestling at this point.
Yeah, I might have to do a Chris Jericho show, honestly.
Yeah, Chris Jericho's the man.
Jericho is my favorite.
So on to the Crown Jewel qualifiers on SmackDown. We have Miz versus Rusev.
In a super duper quick squash.
It
wasn't a squash.
It wasn't a squash. It was
just because
Aiden.
Everybody ran over on the time with the segments.
And
SmackDown went out.
Aiden also interfered in that match.
Yeah.
Miz with the quick roll up. It was a surprise finish.
Not a squash match.
And Miz qualifies.
Yep, stole that.
Next up was a segment that I feel like it wasn't even needed.
Most
Just
of
for
it-
the simple fact that
most of
they
them
were
weren't
plugging, hey, Edge is back. But Edge,
Oh, I like
And
that.
Becky
No, I
Lynch.
like that segment.
I felt like it made no sense coming from Edge.
It made no sense with the moral code when he was like,
No,
oh,
You're on
no,
the rated R
no.
superstars on the moral code. Oh, you don't want to do things. I've burnt bridges. Edge, you're a fucking legend. Those bridges are rebuilt. At this point, those bridges are rebuilt.
That's what didn't make any
And the
sense.
whole time, I'm like,
That's what didn't make
Becky
sense.
doesn't need this lecture right now.
And
She's
you
doing
ain't
everything
But like-
right.
You ain't let to Charlotte when she was heel, right?
But Becky came back with the like yeah, I do.
Now don't hurt
She straight
your
up
back when you
disrespected
hit the
Edge.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't like myself. I
Love
love
myself.
myself. You know what I'm saying? She's
She-
like, you get out of the champs ring and don't hurt
your neck on the way out. Becky, Becky's on fire. Becky is amazing. She's doing amazing work right now.
We need to fire sound like. That's
Edge
exactly
went
what
back
she did
with
to
his-
Edge. She hit him.
So-
She hit him with the cut though.
Oh, man.
You know, it was good seeing Edge, and I understand what they were trying to do with the segment, but I'm not taking lectures for the rated R superstar. If anything, he's the example.
I'm not taking lectures from a guy who's about to have sex on live TV, okay? And you're talking about friends? Yeah, you're talking about practice? Which Lita and Trish Stratus did on Raw.
Oh, yeah.
But they just drew it out too much. It was like, alright, we
Yeah.
get it. Like they said practice like 25 times. Like, alright, we get it. It was
So
fun.
the segment was good, but you know, I'm obviously all Becky all the way. Next up was the Bar versus the New Day in the tag team championship match.
Always good. Always good.
I like this match.
I can see them wrestle nonstop.
It was a great match.
Honestly, I feel like whenever you put the Bar, the New Day, and the Usos together, you're gonna get instant classics.
Yeah, so
They
they had Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi was on the outside, and they was about to put Kofi through the New Day announce table.
Yeah, they had JR and Booker T announcing at the New Day table with pancakes on it, and they were about to put him through the table.
Then all of a sudden, you hear, "Where's the Big Show?"
The Big Slow.
And he comes down there, and for the 100,000th
Oh my
millionth,
God.
252nd
I'm
time.
sorry, but every
Heel
time
turn.
every time I hear that Big Show thing, I just think about the Rock's promo. He's like, all you do is this. So, oh my God! I think the Rock stunted Big Show's reign potential for reigns with that one joke.
All you marks out there know what we're talking about.
So Big Show turns heel.
You gotta get that for a sound.
He puts Kofi through the announce table, and officially helps the Bar win the match. Now
the surprise of everybody.
We're probably seeing another huge man stable.
You know what?
There's another Dogs of War on SmackDown.
I love it. I love this.
We lose one, we gain another.
I love this stable because it's dope. But you know what? Big Show, for your 100,255 trillionth heel face turn, you just made the list. That's it. You made the list. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, at this point, anytime I see the Big Show, I kind of appreciate it. And he's in the best shape of his life right now.
I'm glad to see. Yeah, that stable is. Oh, that's crazy. Are
I'm
you
glad
kidding me?
he's aligned himself with the Bar.
Yeah,
So
that's dope. No, who knew that we wanted the Big Show in the Bar together?
Yeah,
Show Bar. Word.
Yeah, Show Bar.
Show Bar. You heard it
Show
first.
Bar.
The Bar Show?
Nah, I like Show Bar.
Show Bar?
I like Show Bar.
So Bar? We'll figure it out.
Hey?
What
So
about the Bar Show?
the biggest thing of the night was the return of Rey Mysterio.
Ooh, booyaka, 619.
And he is another person who is in the best shape of their life.
Yeah.
These are veterans that honestly I don't mind seeing another run
He's
because
got a 2-year contract with him. He's on a 2-year contract, so he's ready.
listen, Ray was flying around that ring like he was still in his 20s.
Yep.
Yeah. But
He did like a slide out the ring,
I mean, he.
splashed.
Yeah. They call it a penguin. I forgot. I think that's the name of the move. A penguin dive.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had Nakamura on the floor outside, and he just died. First off, this was a first time ever match.
Yeah, Shinsuke
Not even
Nakamura
just
versus Ray.
WWE. WWE will lie to you. WWE likes to rewrite wrestling history a lot.
But
This is actually a first time ever match. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rey Mysterio.
It was a decent match too.
But they didn't.
I would have loved to see
Their
it go
chemistry-
for like 20 minutes,
Their
30
chemistry
minutes.
really is a SmackDown match. It's hard to have a match or a really good match. On
The second
SmackDown
match definitely
because
needs
of
to be.
I mean, for a
pay-per-view.
first time ever, they did a pretty good.
Look at the standing.
Apollo Crews is stepping
I'm
up.
fine.
Again, we watch Raw. We watch the
wrestling.
Raw on
Yeah,
the
watch
22nd of October. We watch wrestling during our podcast. And yeah, Apollo's been stepping up.
Look at him.
Actually, yeah,
Finally
Apollo finally stepped up.
Last week?
Going back, last week on Raw, he finally stepped up, and he pretty much said, "I might not have like probably not funny. I probably don't have the personality you want,
Yeah.
but when I'm in that ring, I'm pretty much a god."
I need a stable.
So-
I smell a stable. Are you kidding me?
No,
You
no
know who looks
stable,
like money?
no stable.
You know who looks like money? You know who might wrestle like money?
Oh, I can see that.
Can you
Oh
see that
yeah, I
together?
could definitely see him with Leo Rush and
You know who
Lashley.
You know who else looks like money?
I think that might not be a bad look, but I kind of want to see him
The
stand
New
out on his
Nation?
own finally.
Nah.
The New Nation?
But just I feel you. Like let them let both.
Nah.
Ooh.
So going back to Rey Mysterio,
I wish he would have cheated. That's the only thing I wish he would have cheated. Not clean. Come on, you got to continue this. You know what I'm saying? Then you have a reason for them to wrestle again, because you know they're gonna wrestle Raw like 5 more times. You know what I'm saying? Like. So.
yeah. So going back to SmackDown 1000 and Rey Mysterio, it was the first ever match for Nakamura. Really good match. Ray actually wins. How many stars I'd give that match? I mean, for a first.
Honestly, I don't rate
first
TV
time
matches
ever?
because we have to go through ad breaks, and it's a TV match.
I mean, I just because it was the first time, and you could tell like they have chemistry, but they got to work at
Yeah,
it.
they gotta work at it.
I give them a 3.
That was,
Give them a little 3 on the
and
Boston
WWE
meter.
style is different.
316 rating system.
Different than Japan style, different than indie style. You know what I'm saying? WWE is definitely a different. It's different. Like the way they work their matches are different from what Ray's been doing. Not saying that Ray's falling off by any means. I'm just all out. Like I miss seeing Nakamura. I don't even know if he's a heel anymore. It doesn't matter.
I don't know what they're doing with Nakamura. He kind of dropped off the face of the map, like
With the title.
with the title. That's the craziest part about it. Like he's not in a rivalry with anyone right now.
He might. I don't know. I think it would be dope if during like Rey Mysterio is probably like about to win, and then Nakamura just come boom, King Shaw's and nope, I ain't forget.
You know, that's probably valid. That would be a great way for Ray to go straight into storyline.
Yeah.
So, Ray qualifies, being the last qualifier for the Crown Jewel World Cup, which really not a World Cup. Every single person besides Rey Mysterio is the natural born American. We have Jeff Hardy, Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, John Cena, Kurt Angle, of course Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, and The Miz. So it's not looking really like a World Cup.
It's not a World Cup.
They kind of dropped the ball. It doesn't matter how good the tournament actually turns out to be.
And
They
John
dropped the
Cena
ball.
just
They're not
qualified.
representing the world.
And John Cena just qualified because, well, he's John Cena. And that's literally the reason why.
That he's disqualified?
No. The reason why John Cena's in it is because he's John Cena.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to have John Cena do?
He's John Cena.
He has
like,
no storyline build up with anyone.
I love John Cena, but like John Cena, like you really getting like you trying to tell me like you can't. Oh, I forgot the insurance. No, we can't. I was gonna say, but that's the crazy thing. Like, if he's still under this insurance, he can't take no bumps. That's why at the Super Showdown he came in there 6 moves to do.
You know what'll be awesome?
That's it.
If he actually doesn't even get to wrestle. Shows up, gets attacked, puts out, Nakamura joins in. U.S. champion in the World Cup.
Yeah.
That'll be pretty dope. Nakamura doesn't have a match at Crown Jewel.
Doesn't make any sense.
So, you know, I hope that happens. That's pretty much all the, you know, goings on for SmackDown Live. That's pretty much where the World Cup is at for Crown Jewel.
Ladies and gentlemen. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the Roman thing kind of
everywhere.
spun us off. We had to start off with that note.
Yeah, I'm
So,
about
you know,
it.
it turned our format around, hearing that news going into this recording. So, next up was NXT.
NXT was rocking.
Now,
NXT is always rocking. People forget about NXT, and then when Takeover comes, like, oh, NXT. No, NXT is rocking every single week.
Yeah, every week, every
Their
pay-per-view
storylines
is great.
like,
Any of our listeners don't watch NXT,
but here's the
you
thing.
have to do that.
They're not
Please
doing
subscribe.
any. NXT is
$9.99.
not doing anything amazing. They're not.
They're just booking well.
They're just telling stories.
They're
and having
rotating their
good
rosters
wrestling
correctly.
matches. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. They're just telling stories that
You know
make
what they do
sense,
well? They make you
and it's
miss.
just like-
They make you miss certain stars. So when you see them like a week after, like one week like off, 1 week on, You actually appreciate
Yeah.
watching their match, watching their
SmackDown-
promo, seeing their particular storyline go forward.
SmackDown does that, but here's the thing: the reason why I like, cause it's just like there's like people on NXT, like why we're gonna have a rivalry? Because I think I'm better than you, not because some stupid storyline like, ooh, I'm sitting in the back with Jinder Mahal and I can't breathe right, so now we gotta have a match. No, Jinder Mahal, that's stupid. So I'm gonna smack you in the face, and now we're gonna have a match. That's like. It's wrestling. It's not hard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very simple. You know what I'm saying? They make it so convoluted, and it's
Just
really
put
not.
them in the ring, man.
Put them in the ring.
Just
Make
put
a
'em in the
reason.
ring.
Make an intelligent reason for them to go in the ring, and just wrestle.
What number one contenders match?
No one contender match. Everybody on NXT, and you
Don't ask no
get this
questions.
feeling like everybody wants to be champion. When you watch Raw, and some people, I think it's more on Raw and SmackDown. I feel like this guy doesn't really want to be champion.
You can see who likes just being complacent, getting the check every week. You can really tell who's putting in the work, who's really trying. It just translates on TV. I think that's one of the biggest things I've gathered from The Rock when he did his whole rivalry with John Cena, that he called John Cena out for being fake. People feel your shit. Like they can tell when you're phoning shit in.
Yeah.
Or it's what you put into it, and The Rock was a good example. Good example of saying that. Like the fans are not gonna gravitate to you if you're not giving it your all. You could tell who's on the roster just getting a damn check.
I would like to do that show, honestly. That Rock and that Rock versus Cena, because I was there for both of them. I would like to do that show. That would be a dope.
So the big story coming out of NXT though was what's her
Aleister
name?
Black
Yeah,
and Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross. Wow, I went blank.
And they had
Nikki Cross versus Bianca.
Bianca.
She's
Blair.
been calling out Bianca for a while. She likes playing with Bianca.
They had a match maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, and it ended in no contest. This one ended in no contest, and they had it was a double main event this week. It was War Raiders versus the Undisputed Era in a rocking match. Bobby Fish came back down, smacked War Raiders with a chair. Bobby Fish is back, 100%. Undisputed Era is back, 100%. I don't
Shock
want
the system.
anybody from NXT to leave. That's it. Just close it. That's
Lock
it. We're
it
not
in.
going anybody down to the main roster anymore. It's a wrap. NXT is going and being its own thing. That's it. Because the class of NXT right now is so ill.
This match-
I feel like it's coming though.
What's coming?
NXT just needs to be its own.
The call ups.
The call ups?
Yeah,
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's been too long. It's been
I
too
think
long.
that's why Dream is getting his world title match, because either Dream or Ciampa's finally getting called up.
I think it's gonna be Dream.
I think it's gonna be Dream as well.
Dream translates more. Dream translates immediately.
You know what it
like
is?
People like Dreams is like people can see him like, oh, what's
know what
that?
it
You know what?
He
He'll
provides
flourish
an
on SmackDown.
experience.
I hope he goes to
He
SmackDown.
can flourish
He'll
on Raw or SmackDown.
Either or, but he'll absolutely flourish on SmackDown.
He
Like
could.
I see titles in his future if he goes to SmackDown first.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm not sure how this match ended. Was it a no contest? Because
No,
didn't
you
that
don't remember how this match ended.
No.
Okay, so Bianca Blair and Nikki Cross. The match started off kind of slow, and it really got going in the middle of it. It was about to come to a climax. Lights go black. You hear the beginning of Aleister Black's music.
Yeah, no,
And
I
then-
meant as far as they didn't get a pinfall victory, right? It was like a no contest. Yeah, that's what I meant.
And then like you see, you know what I'm saying, and then Aleister Black is just in the ring, and that's like the end of the match. You know what I'm saying? You know, she
Alistair's sitting cross-legged in the ring,
where Bianca Blair was.
and Nikki just crawls up to him, and she finally reveals the secret. Alistair's face, he just looked pissed the fuck off.
Yeah.
I think we know who it was.
Yeah, I mean,
We got. The
I won't
clues.
reveal the
No.
clues.
Nah, just tell it. You know, like these marks don't know.
It's true.
I think it was Mr. Green with the revolver in the hall. That's the clue reference right there.
Nah. Well, I've been saying it for a few weeks, even before they even revealed the live results of the tapings. it was Johnny Gargano.
Oh.
It just made the best sense.
He chose Venom.
Yeah, Johnny wrestling, finally, going
Johnny,
heel,
hell yeah.
attacking Aleister Black. I mean, think about it. He was coming out of that rivalry with Ciampa. Ciampa's champion. That was his way of getting back into that picture, and it did get him a title match. He didn't win.
He failed.
So, yeah, Aleister Black already knows who attacked him. He's finally back on TV. On a side note, big news for NXT. We finally got the first episode of NXT UK.
Ooh.
Now, I didn't get to check it out, but,
Oh, man.
it was the expansion of NXT. Finally, it's his own brand outside of NXT. UK tag team titles, everything.
It's NXT UK.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's coming out. It's showing that WWE is a global brand, and it gives
WWE been a
more
global
wrestlers the time to shine from different countries, get to see different styles and different views and different types of promos and such. What you think?
I mean, that's the best part of it, to be honest. And for the people that are reluctant to leave Europe and dabble in WWE's main roster, there's more options. For all those indie guys, there's way more options in WWE, and it'll prepare them for if they ever want to join the main roster, jump in on that way.
The UK scene, indie wise, is huge. They have WWE was trying to get a TV deal out there. It wasn't going to be just on the WWE network. They weren't able to get it. There's other wrestling promotion out there, World of Sport, huge out of the UK. It used to go on back in the day, and then it just came back recently.
Yeah,
so
We'll see how
now Wednesdays we have 3 hours of wrestling again. It's a lot of stuff to cover.
Over 10 hours of wrestling from WWE.
Yeah.
Not
honestly,
including pay-per-views.
Honestly,
I'm talking about 15 to 16 hours.
It's starting to feel like a job, man.
I mean, it's a
like
lot
a job.
to keep.
No,
But that's why we're here. That's why we're here. For people who can't keep up to everything going on, we'll give you the highlights. We'll give you, what's important to keep up.
Stay tuned.
We're gonna try to, start putting everything in 205 Live, but right now we have to just give you what's the best spots of the week, what's the best going ons of the week. So with that being said, let's move on from NXT, let's move on from WWE, and let's talk about the NWA 70 show.
Okay.
70 years of NWA.
That's pretty special right there.
They try to bring back a classic feel. They had the NWA Women's title on the line. They had the brand new NWA National Heavyweight Championship.
Which is ugly.
It is ugly as shit, but it's a throwback to an old title.
Like the national championship.
It's a throwback to the old title, so I respect the history behind it. It's ugly as shit though. I didn't even like the
I
original.
disagree. I like it.
It is
Now,
the worst belt
what
I've ever seen. Are you serious?
Are you kidding me? That belt is the most horrible strap.
disagree.
It's a copy of the Universal
No.
Championship strap. It's just tiny as hell. It's the worst strap. SCU.
SCU.
I give that belt.
Disagree.
I give that belt a 2 on the 316 meter.
I'm really pissed off.
I would have given it a 1 though.
Nah, I'm not that pissed off. But it's just the look. You said a 1 on
A 1.
a 1 on the
You
316.
want to know that? What? Huh? What? Does it look like I care? Do you care? Tell me, do you care? Do you care? Do you care? Yes, sir. Do you care? What?
I mean, I kind of care. NWA is trying to come back. They're trying to bring the prestige of the old school territory system. I never liked that belt.
All jokes aside, the belt's very.
It's just, you know what it is? Too small.
I don't think it's horrible, but it's just meh.
It's just too small. It's too small. I like it for the simple fact of history.
I feel like it should have been black.
Black and gold.
I feel like the back of it should have been black instead of red.
Yeah, the whole strap is red.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. The whole strap should have been black, and I feel like it would have been good.
Well, Willie Mack is the
Willie
first
Willie Mack is
NWA, the inaugural
and how they did it was they had
NWA
two,
National Heavyweight Champion.
They had 2 4-way elimination matches. Shane Shaw, Sam Shaw won the first one. Willie Mack won one, and then they met up and wrestled again
for that title. Now I'm not someone who's too familiar with Willie Mack, but he was making waves for a couple of weeks. His name's been popping up.
Willie Mack from South Central been doing this for 12 years.
He fought Cody for the championship.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. The last podcast.
So his name's been popping up recently. So I want to see what he's gonna do with this title, and NWA is really trying to be prominent. They're trying to actually bring their promotion back from the dirt.
Shout out
and
to
they're,
Billy.
One of the ways.
Oh my gosh.
What?
No way. Nah.
What?
They wouldn't do that.
What?
I was thinking.
What was you thinking?
What if they all just go to the NWA? I'm like, nah.
They're already helping NWA. It doesn't make no sense. No, let's get to that. Let's get to that after this NWA stuff. But
what if you just had
they're bringing
potent premonition?
A premonition.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I feel so broken tonight. Yeah.
My broken brilliance travels the multiverse to reveal the answers you seek.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Now it's time to delete.
Delete.
And go to the next topic.
All right, so they're trying to again with the idea of history and bringing back the NWA promotion. They're actually bringing back a tag team tournament that hasn't been seen since the 1980s. They did it 3 years in a row. It kind of faded to the sunset, but now they're bringing it back. So the Crockett Tag Team Tournament.
Did they give a date on that, or they just said
just 2019 so far. I don't think they gave
2019 is right around the corner.
Yeah, they haven't given an exact date yet. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to things coming out of NWA.
Speaking of 2019,
I wonder which tag teams will be in the tournament.
Did you? Kayfabe was asking about January 1st.
Oh wait, cover the mic, Kayfabe, bro.
He was asking about January 1st.
Yeah, I can't commit.
Yeah.
Are you asking about January 1st?
Yeah, I was.
Wait, hold on. Let's finish this NWA. Let's finish this NWA.
But you never gave me that answer.
Cody has a match.
Dude, 2 out of 3 falls.
2 out of 3 falls against Nick Aldis. This is the rematch from All In. And, All In was historic. Cody winning the NWA Championship in the footsteps of his father. This is Nick Aldis' rematch. Anyways.
So Nick Aldis came out with Camilla Kane. And I don't know who she is, but he said that was his insurance policy because, remember
he has Brandy.
Brandy hopped in the ring and just took the elbow, which I didn't mind, but she kind of no-sold the elbow, really.
I mean, you got to forgive Brandy. Brandy definitely does good work.
Brandy does no wrong.
Yeah,
Brandy does no. Let me just say that off. Brandy does no wrong. I love Brandy. All right, no disrespect, Cody, but I love your wife. No disrespect.
Are you saying that you would take a shot of Brandy?
Take a double shot.
Need to watch the show. I need to watch.
I'll take a double shot.
I'll hear you chat about it.
So, about the 2 and 3 falls match.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 falls match. So Nick won the
first fall. It definitely did.
Then Cody won obviously Cody won the second one.
And then third fall goes to Nick Aldis, regaining the NWA Championship. Now, this was kind of quick. I mean, what he had, like 2 defenses. Did he have any defenses of the NWA Championship? One, right?
Willie Mack.
That wasn't for the United States Championship?
No,
IWGP?
that was
Oh, okay, that was for the NWA Championship. So he did defend it once. And
was it there another person?
That was it.
What about Flip?
No.
The thing is, I think Cody's moving on from this. I don't think he's even going for a rematch on this.
I don't think so either. I think he's about to drop all these titles that he has.
The Elite.
Honestly, Cody doesn't need titles.
The Elite is definitely gearing up. And speaking of the Elite, this leads us to being the Elite. And what's your question? What's your question?
The Elite.
Yo,
but anyway, man, so the Elite opens up. What happened? What happened?
Yo, you guys still haven't told me if you guys are coming to my party or not.
Listen, when is your party?
It's July 1st. I mean,
July. We are open.
We're open in July.
Boom. So,
I mean,
Yeah.
January 1st. No, January 1st is my new year.
Just like the Elite told Marty, we cannot commit.
But what I don't understand this.
I just can't. I just can't tell you right now.
Are you trying to say there's gonna be changes on Kayfabe Avenue?
Nah, I'm not confirming or denying anything. But anyways, so on Being the Elite, Flip Gordon makes his first appearance on the show since All In, and Flip goes up to Matt and he's like, pretty much saying that fact, and Matt's like, you know what? I'm tired of everybody depending on me to further their storylines and put them over. Grab those brass rings. And those brass rings led to Flip Gordon super kicking the Young Bucks.
Yeah, it came back and super kicked both the Young Bucks, and they're like, yeah, that's what we like. That.
We want more of that. That was a cool segment, and Flip goes throughout the entire episode.
Saying the people's parts and everything.
Jumps into the SCU's promo, says the whole SCU segment, doesn't even let SCU get the words out. It was hilarious.
That was so hilarious.
It's like, dude, what the
And then once again,
what town were they? They were in Philadelphia. Were they in Philadelphia? I'm pretty sure they were in Philadelphia.
I'm not too sure about what city they were in.
I don't know, but they already said yeah.
So, once again, we get a letter from the mysterious H on Being the Elite.
Yeah.
Cody asks Matt, did you put this here? Picks up the letter and it says, hope it still fits, H. Cody opens up his suitcase to reveal the Stardust outfit. And he holds the Stardust outfit to the camera, revealing it. So, what do you think? What do you think is going on with the Elite? Like, I know this is a ongoing topic with us, but they're really, really leaning into this WWE thing.
I mean, here's the thing, man. We just moved into a new. Tama Tonga officially said that this is the cutthroat era.
Yep. Debuted that new logo too.
The Golden Elite era is over. So
I think they're going. And if they're not going, there's a rumor that actually Jericho and Jim Ross is starting their own wrestling promotion.
Jericho shot that down.
He kind of shot it down, but you know how Jericho is.
He's
also.
a troll.
Jericho's a troll. Jericho's not going to tell.
And this leads to my theory that if the Bucks aren't going to WWE, if the Elite, all of them, they're not going to WWE, they're going to their own promotion or they're going to something new.
Here's the thing. If Kenny Omega loses at Wrestle Kingdom, it's over. It's over.
I mean, let's look at this.
Over.
The details is in what's going on. The Bucks have lost their tag team championships.
Only titles after
the NWA championship was just lost from Cody. They have the 3-man title between them three.
I forgot.
Cody still has the IWGP United States Championship, and then there's just Omega left with the Heavyweight Championship.
Cody's about to have a title defense with the IWGP. I forgot his name. But he just got challenged, so that's gonna happen. And the Bucks and Cody still have the 6-man Ring of Honor tag team titles.
They're probably gonna drop that to the Kingdom.
Yep.
So after they drop all those titles,
if Omega loses,
they either gonna go to WWE. Maybe they probably go to that rumored Jericho promotion. Who knows what they'll do? It's crazy. It's a crazy time. You know,
well, speaking of Jericho, they also revealed this week that the Cruise of Jericho is gonna be streamed, and it's gonna be on Fight TV. So it's actually its own pay-per-view.
Only $25.
$25 is not bad.
I'll definitely pay for that.
It's not bad.
You know, Cruise of Jericho is gonna be crazy. Excuse me, I just started stuffing my face. I got 200 lunches.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, the Cruise of Jericho is pretty much a cruise from Miami all the way to the Bahamas. It's gonna have a whole bunch of wrestling legends, podcasts, tournaments. It's gonna have people from Ring of Honor. It's gonna have Impact. It's gonna have New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're gonna have tournaments, everything.
They're gonna have the debut of the Alpha Club.
The what?
The Alpha Club.
Or it's going to be
yeah.
Y2 Jackson.
Or is it the Bucks of Jericho? I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
I'm not like you. I'm not calling them the Bullet Club anymore. They're the Elite. It's official.
Elite.
The Bullet Club is Tonga's, and it's the Cutthroat era. So it's the Elite versus the Alpha Club.
Yeah.
Or is it Y2 Jackson?
Yeah. Then it's the Elite versus Impact. There's going to be, I'm pretty sure there's going to be like some special match that Sami Callihan's going to do. He's going to do some hardcore spots on the cruise. Who knows?
He's going to dive into the ocean.
Who knows? He's going to throw somebody.
I wouldn't even doubt somebody gets thrown into the water.
He's going to do an ocean spot.
Well, the good thing is, like we said, it's going to be on Fight TV, so we're actually going to be able to see it, which actually kind of helps my little madness that I got going on. The fact that I'm not gonna be there.
Tell me why you're mad.
I'm mad. It's my birthday weekend. I was supposed to be on the fucking cruise.
Oh man!
Are you mad?
I'm mad.
Are you?
I'm
mad,
very
mad.
But I'm mad.
What?
I'm angry.
You mad?
I'm mad.
Are you mad? What?
What?
Are you angry?
I'm angry.
Are you vexed?
Yes, I'm vexed.
What?
Yeah.
Are you pissed off?
Just a little bit.
What?
Does it make you feel good?
Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of doesn't make me feel good, you know. So I see where you're going there. I see where you're going. Yeah, you had to hit me with it. I know you had to hit me with it. Yeah, I see where you was going with it. It's okay. I deserve that. It's all right. I deserve that. But
listen, we all wish we were gonna be there. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That'll be the most amazing first episode ever. All episodes ever.
But the cruise, like I said, it's turning out to be like an all-in too, independent wrestling show with a whole bunch of great indie wrestlers.
It feels like Captain America, Civil War. Like it's not like all in too, but like it's basically all in too. Like it wasn't the Avengers movie, but
it was basically the Avengers. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Movie, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so Jericho doing big things, and I think that's about it. That was this week in wrestling.
You know, yeah, that was. We went from NWA to Impact, WWE, Super Juniors, which we will get to next week because that's a lot to cover. So we're gonna get to the Super Juniors going on. The Super Junior tournament that's going on in New Japan Wrestling right now.
This is a tag team tournament, right?
Yeah, tag team tournament that's going on right now. That's a lot. Kenny Omega and Ibushi competed in that before. The Young Bucks competed in that before. I'm pretty sure Ibushi and Chase Owens is. It's funny they have like this picture like Chase Owens is trying to show Ibushi how to do the 2-sweep. And for podcast listeners, I'm doing up like the 2 sweeps with my 2 hands, and then Ibushi goes like this. And like Chase Owens go like do this. And then Chase Owens like throws a 2 sweep up in the air, and then Ibushi goes like this, just with the high five.
And just high fives the 2 sweeps.
Just high fives the 2 sweeps.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? Funny. But we will get to that and more next week. Yeah. And as much as I would love to sit here and talk to you about WWE and Impact and the Cruise of Jericho and Ring of Honor and Progress and Defiant and all the other wrestling around the world, I must bid you a farewell.
This has been the Kayfabe AJ and Kayfabe Focus.
This is Mr. Richie Moon. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night.
Good